Saturday afternoon saw yet another rally to recall Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao in what was once restaurant Le Cheval, closed in part due to street crime.
She didn't inherit all of these problems. She caused a number of problems.
Retired Alameda Superior Court Judge Brenda Harbin Forte heads the recall petition.
People who say give her more time to do what? She has ruined our city.
A recall is possible due to Oakland's ongoing bouts with brash criminal activity, missing a deadline to secure $15 million in state funding to combat retail crime, the recent spate of Hagenberger businesses closures, as well as the continuing failure to appoint a permanent police chief.
Look at the potholes, look at the homelessness, look at the jobs, look at the businesses that are leaving Oakland. And I'm mad as double HE hockey sticks.
Those wanting to dump the mayor must get at least 10% of Oakland's registered voters to sign a recall petition, 25,000 of them by July, and it looks like they'll beat that deadline by months.
12,500 people plus who have signed already to recall Mayor Sheng Thao.
A rainbow of recallers said if the recall gets on the November ballot and if it passes, Thao will be gone.
We are not getting the services that we deserve throughout, and this crime is spreading.
We know that the voters made a mistake by voting for Sheng Thao, but as you can see with the signatures that we have collected, they are willing to correct their mistake.
She either resign or get recalled. Because she's not doing her job. And we see the consequence of her failure on the streets every day.
Now, as
all right, guys, so we got to do another follow-up video to a video that I did last night about how Oakland has become a city of chaos, along with San Francisco as well, too. But we're focused mainly on Oakland, because last night I talked about how Taco Bell has decided to close up their indoor dining locations because of the crime, okay? I mean, particularly when you're talking about the area in Oakland by the airport, it is extremely dangerous, okay? You get off the plane in Oakland and your life is in danger, apparently, okay? At the very least, you're in danger of getting robbed, okay, as soon as you get off the plane. So, again, this city is suffering heavily, and now there's a revolt against the leadership in that city, mainly the mayor of the city. And again, you have people that are trying to actively have her recalled and replaced. Either that or she resigns. But I'm here to tell you that that's not going to solve the problem, especially if you do what Chicago did, which is just replace your mayor with an even more progressive lunatic, okay? But it is nice to see that these residents are realizing where their problems come from, that it comes from the leadership. However, the question is, if you recall this person, who are you going to replace them with? Are you going to replace them with another far-left woke revolutionary, or are you actually going to vote in the other direction for once in your life? Who knows, okay? But I also know that if you don't replace the DA, Pamela Price, who's woke, and she's the one that's responsible for prosecuting criminals and actually making sure they get locked up, nothing's going to change as well either, right? Nothing will change. You have to replace all of your leadership, not just the mayor, okay? Everybody got to go, from city council to the DA to the mayor. Everybody got to go. Get rid of Democrats, right? Get rid of Democrats. That is the only way forward, okay? If you really want to fix this city, get rid of Democrats, okay? But hey, we will see if they will actually do that. But until then, again, you have people that are in full-blown revolt in Oakland over the conditions of the city, okay? I mean, you have a mass exodus of businesses that are leaving the city, and the business owners that are still there, they're so frustrated that they are now threatening to stop paying taxes. They're like, look, if you can't protect us, okay, if we can't get safety, then we're just not going to pay taxes, right? I mean, what are we paying taxes for, okay? And I'm pretty sure the taxes are pretty damn high, okay? I'm pretty sure that it is very, very, very costly to operate in Oakland. But yet, in exchange for paying these taxes, what are you getting? You ain't getting nothing, right? So they're like, look, we're going to stop paying taxes if you can't protect us. So without further ado, let's get into this.
We won't fund it if you don't fix it. That is the message from some frustrated Oakland business owners. They're warning they will stop paying taxes to the city until it starts providing safer neighborhoods to operate in. NBC Bay Area's Tom Jensen is in Oakland, where organizers are asking more small business owners to join them.
In the past 2 years, this family-owned Puerto Rican restaurant in Fruitvale Avenue has been robbed twice at gunpoint. The owner says he rarely sees police patrols, despite the numerous armed holdups that have plagued this neighborhood for the past 2 years, and enough is enough.
We're proposing not to pay taxes to the city until you give me the service that we deserve.
Jose Ortiz, an Oakland native, says in addition to the multiple robberies, he's seen a 25% drop in business, and customers are staying away because they don't feel safe.
We're not the only one. We're all in the same boat, all across the city of Oakland. You know, and the city needs to immediately, effectively do something about it.
Yeah, so I want you guys to understand how bad it is. Okay, so not only is this person putting his life in danger going to work every single day, okay, getting robbed at gunpoint and all types of crazy stuff, but a 25% drop in business because the area is unsafe. And this is why I try to tell you guys about the woke revolutionaries and how they believe that, well, you don't need to fund police. You don't need to make sure that a neighborhood is safe. You just need to pour money into a neighborhood, okay, and just, you know, give money to poor people, and then, you know, the crime will magically go away. And that's just simply not the case, okay, because businesses cannot operate. You cannot have economic opportunity in neighborhoods that are unsafe. People aren't going to want to shop in those neighborhoods. They're not going to want to be in those areas. They're not going to want to patronize those businesses if they cannot be in that area safely. This is why I say if you want to clean up the hood, you have to get tough on crime. You got to start locking some criminals up. Right? You're not going to clean up any of these liberal cities until you have a massive crackdown on crime. Okay? You have to go to Nayib Bukele route. Again, look at El Salvador. Okay? I mean, look, it's controversial what they did, but they did what they had to do. They locked up all the criminals. And guess what? All of a sudden, now there's tourism coming to the country. There's more economic activity coming to the country. That country has turned around. Right? Turn around. I mean, that country is safer than some of these liberal cities in America. Right? Well, how did that happen? Well, because he got tough on crime. He realized that it doesn't matter how much money you invest into a neighborhood or into a certain area. If the area is crime ridden, if a business can't operate safely, you're not going to get anything out of it. You're going to be burning your money on fire. Again, this is something that progressives don't realize. They always want to put the cart before the horse. They don't want to lock up the criminals. They don't want to deal with the crime. They just want to throw money at the problem and then think that, oh, well, magically crime will go away. No, that's not the case. You have to get rid of the criminals first, right? You have to. It is what it is, and you're going to have to do some controversial stuff, but that is what it takes to clean up a neighborhood. And then from there, you can start to invest. You can start to have businesses come in. You can start to really clean up the area, okay? Because now you have people in the area that are law-abiding citizens, and you don't have to worry about crime. It's really that simple. Again, this is not complicated, right? This is just common sense, which is severely lacking on the left side of the aisle.
City Councilman Noel Gallo says he sympathizes with the growing number of business owners feeling the pinch from having fewer customers and more crime.
The owner is absolutely correct. Why do we keep not just elevating taxes, but we're not providing the service for safety?
There's nothing on the books yet, but Gallo says the full council may need to consider a tax deferment initiative for the affected businesses, big and small. The leader of efforts to recall Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao and Alameda County DA Pamela Price say the buck stops at the top.
Now, I want you guys to understand. Now, I just want y'all to notice here, okay? It's a coincidence, okay? But I just got to point it out. Look at who's running the city. You got two women, two so-called women of color running the city, and look at the results. Why do you think they got elected? Why do you think they got elected? You think they got elected because of their qualifications? Because they were the best person for the job? Probably not. They probably got elected based off woke attributes. Because they allegedly have vaginas. Because they, you know, are so-called women of color, right? Because they have a few infinity stones of wokeness. That's why they got elected. And look at the result. Every single time they do this, look at the result. Look at Tiffany Henyer in Dalton. She got elected. Why? Because she's a so-called woman of color. She's a black woman, right? Look at the results. Brandon Johnson, why he get elected? Because he's a so-called person of color. He black man, right? Even though he was more insane than Lori Lightfoot, and he campaigned on it. He showed the city. He said, yeah, I think that we should share our resources with illegals. He campaigned on that, okay? He told you straight up, this is what I'm about. And they elected him anyways. Why? Because of his skin color. Didn't have anything to do with his policies. And then look at the results. And now these people boo-hoo-whining and crying, complaining about something they voted for. And again, it's not like he lied about it. That's why I can't even be too upset with Brandon Johnson. He told you straight up, this is who I am. He didn't hide it. They voted for it anyways. But again, this is what happens when you vote based off identity politics. I don't know how many times we have to see example after example after example after example of these cities being run into the ground by these so-called minorities, right? That got elected because of their woke traits rather than their qualifications and their policies. How many times do we have to see this before we learn a lesson? I mean, you could just look across the Bay, San Francisco, London Breed, so-called woman of color running that city into the ground, right? Look at Washington, D.C. Look who's running that city. So-called woman of color. New York City. Look who's running that city. So-called man of color. Again, I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying that that's the cause of it. Again, obviously, all these people are Democrats. That's what they really have in common, right? That's the real problem. They're Democrats. But again, you have to take note of what happens when you have all these people getting elected based off their identity rather than their policies. Okay? Because the Democrat policies are terrible. But yet the people vote for these people anyways because of, oh, well, I want to make history, diversity. Again, this is what you get, right? This is exactly what you get.
The ball is being dropped significantly due to poor policies and poor leadership.
Edward Escobar says even larger businesses are having difficulty covering their tax bills in the current environment, and the issue is far more severe for small operators like Jose Ortiz.
If you're not providing the services, then how can you charge full business taxes to a lot of these businesses that are barely surviving?
A spokesman for Mayor Thao's office says progress is being made. He says Oakland has now filled all but one of their vacant officer positions, bringing the total force to 711 currently. And he says surge operations in Fruitvale have helped reduce property crime numbers in recent months. And he says withholding taxes would be counterproductive. In Oakland, Tom Jensen, NBC Bay Area News.
Yeah, so again, none of that's going to matter if they're playing catch and release, right? Arrest and release. Okay, so if they're arresting them and then they're just letting them back out on the streets because, you know, the woke DA refuses to prosecute and do her job, it doesn't make any sense. And this is why I said that you have to have a complete revolt against the leadership there, right? When you talk about the DA, when you talk about the mayor, when you talk about the city council, everybody got to go, right? Because nothing's going to change with, you know, one small change here. Okay, let's put some more officers on the street. No. The whole system, the whole city, okay? You got to get rid of all the leadership, all of it, okay? That's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way it's going to work. So I don't blame these business owners for saying, I'm not paying any more taxes, okay? Because why should they, right? Why should they pay taxes and you're not getting the benefits, right? You're paying all this money to the city and they can't even protect you. They can't even help you keep your business open. So what's the point? What's the point? So if you're not getting the services that you're supposed to get versus the taxes that you're paying, why pay, right? So again, I encourage these business owners to stand up. To say, I ain't paying y'all nothing until I actually get what I'm paying for, okay? So, you know, with that being said, it is what it is. Stories like this, the reason why I like covering these stories is because coming up on an election year, okay, I want people to understand these are the consequences when you go out here and you vote Democrat, especially at the local level, okay? These local elections matter. They're probably more important in regards to your quality of life overall than the federal elections. And in these local elections, these progressives tend to get voted into positions of power that they have no business being in, and then you see the results. It's disaster and chaos. So understand, when you go and you vote in your local election, if you vote for a so-called progressive, this is what you're getting. This is what you're getting. This is going to be the result. Understand that. Okay? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.